Hi guys, Janice Vaughn. Welcome to Letting Your Light Shine. All right, so this is episode 39 and I am picking back up from my episode 38 when I was starting to read a letter from my friend Christina. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. Where the narcissist preyed upon her just 2 days after being kicked out of my home due to the order of protection. Okay, so I ended the last episode. You guys got to watch that before you watch this if you haven't seen it, because it's really crazy. So I ended the last one with, on Thursday, March 17th, the narcissist had gotten extremely angry and was yelling and cursing about Janice having told the bank that a payment he had made was fraudulent. And I went on to tell you guys that I had to report fraud charges and made police reports with the police department because he kept doing this. He kept doing this. After I told him don't do it, he did it anyway. So he was under investigation for that. And so this is where the rest of the letter picks up. So I'm going to go ahead and read the rest of this letter. And then I'm going to get into the actual order of protection hearing, which in itself is classic. It's freaking classic. You guys have no idea. I mean, it's just crazy. All right, so here's where she continues. Christina goes, he yelled and screamed about this all the way to pick up a couple that had originally hired him to drive them to the airport. So he would occasionally do like airport run pickups, and apparently that was his job that he claimed that he had the entire marriage. He would do an airport run for somebody and get paid like $30. That was his job. So that was his justification, apparently. So he couldn't use my car because I wouldn't let him. Obviously, I kicked him out. So he was mad and wanted to use Christina's car. So, of course, he coerced her, bless her heart, into using her van. So he was so angry that I had stopped payment on the payments that he was trying to make to his credit cards. And they were minimal payments, like $40, $30, whatever. The point of the matter is, I kicked you out, dude. Pay your own freaking bills. Okay. Regardless if I had paid them, I ain't paying them anymore. So he got so pissed off. So he stopped when I parked my van. He acted very nice and sociable with the people that he picked up. Of course, he yelled at Christina the entire drive to the airport, which is about 25 minutes, and then picked up these people. And all of a sudden he's like, hey, how's it going, guys? Like, yeah, how was your trip? Like, total just, all right, total 360. And she said, the moment they walked through the door of the airport, his eyes and facial expressions changed. And he started yelling and cursing about Janice again. Like, the man is obsessed with me. It's insane. He yelled, she had done it this time. Oh, this is what he said. Remember I said earlier in a video about him saying he's going to bury somebody's ass? His specific words to Christina were, she had done it this time. I am going to bury her ass. That's a threat. That's a freaking threat. He said it, and she will vouch for that. In fact, the judge was told that same sentence that he said at the order of protection hearing. He continued to rant about all he has supposedly done for her. Of course, it's all about, I did this for you. I did that for you. Oh my gosh. Oh, really? We're not here to compare notes. Okay. We're just not. We were supposed to be in a marriage that was equal. And obviously with a narcissist, nothing is equal. He then said again, I'm going to bury her ass. So he said it twice. When we got to my house, he got out of the car and yelled some more. I kept asking him to calm down, but he would only talk over the top of me. Okay. Why narcissists won't let you speak? Because it's only about what they have to say, not what you have to say. Her son had opened the garage door and I asked him to stay out there while I went in to talk with the narcissist. I told him that the way he was acting was triggering me from issues surrounding Christina's first husband, that it needed to stop and it was not good for her. He kept talking over me. When he came outside, he saw me on my phone and crying. He opened the car door abrasively and said, who are you on the phone with? Okay, remember you guys, this is a man that met this poor woman a week prior. He's already swinging her car door open because she's on a phone call for fear of her life. And he's like, who are you talking to? Who talks to people that way? A narcissist does. They just don't care. They don't care who you are. They will talk down to you regardless. He walked back into the house and then came out again, demanding that I give my information, Christina's information, to the person on the phone, which was Bank of America, so that she could make his payment of $41. $41. Okay? The man couldn't make a $41 payment, but he demands it from this poor woman he's known for, just under a week. I mean, this is crazy stuff. And that he would pay me back. Of course, he never did. All right? So she paid the Bank of America credit card payment for him. And she said that it was a one-time payment. I had not wanted to. But the friend that I was on the phone with thought it might settle him down, the narcissist, so that I could get him to leave. Once I paid the bill, he asked me if I wanted him to leave, and I said yes. He packed up his stuff, got in the car, and left. I then realized he had a house key. I texted him. He said he left it in the drawer. It was never to be found. More lies, more lies. There were other things that were found to be missing or gone through at my house. However, excuse me guys. My purpose of this letter is to let you know that he is obsessed with Janice, her business, his finances, and his wants. He spends a great deal of time on the computer and phone each day, printing things out, taking pictures, and gathering information with the intent to use it later to either harm others or to get what he wants from them. He has stated that multiple times to me and to my children. So that was a letter that Christina had written to the judge for my order protection hearing. And as you guys probably know, letters are considered hearsay unless the person testifies. Okay, so the letter was submitted as evidence, and she told me. And again, remember, I only knew this sweet lady for a few days. And she goes, if there's anything I can do, I want to testify for you. And I said, you got it, girl. Okay. So the order protection hearing was on March 23rd, 2022, because the narcissist requested a hearing because he totally didn't believe that it should have been granted in the first place. So we have this hearing, and we're all out in the parking lot, and we go, I just thought of something that I got to end with when I'm done with this video. So we're all in the parking lot, and we see the narcissist walk in, and we're like, okay, let him walk in. Cool. We'll all come in later. And so it was me and 3 of my girlfriends, and all 3 of whom have witnessed this man's behavior. Christina being one of them, who was just taken advantage of by him. So we go through security, we wait about 5 minutes, let him get up there to the courtroom, and then we all go up in the elevator, all right? So as you're walking in the courtroom, table on the left, table on the right. He's sitting on the right, okay? And I walk in, and I go through the little, the little swinging door here to my table, and I sit down, and it was so crazy because I thought that I was going to be very fearful, and I thought that I was going to have all of these emotions come up, and I thought that I was going to start shaking because being around this man and his anger used to make me shake literally inside. And I never felt more strength ever. I don't know if it was because I had these 3 amazing people behind me, or, it was the fact that, I knew God was with me and he was getting me through this. So I walk through the doors and I sit at the table. And of course I've got my stack of exhibits, right? So I sit down. The narcissist turns his head to look at me. But what caught his attention was he saw people behind me. You guys, you should have seen his face. You should have seen his freaking face when he saw Christina, the girl he had just taken advantage of, walk in that door and sit right behind me. He was like, He was so flabbergasted, he couldn't even contain himself. The entire court hearing, he was all over the place. Like he was trying to submit this and he was trying to submit this, and the judge kept looking at him like, what are you doing? Are you not organized? You should have had your exhibits submitted through the uploaded through the portal, which of course mine were. You know, I know how to do this stuff, and he claims to. And I said to her, I go, Your Honor, I've never seen these exhibits. I have no idea what he's got. I have no clue what he's got. But he had all this stuff that he had printed out that he was trying to use against me that he was not able to use one bit because he didn't follow proper court protocol. Okay? He always claimed he was a smart man and I know how to do things. Well, follow the minute entry. Follow the rules of the court. It's not that hard to follow. So during the order protection hearing. Okay, so I testified, I showed my bruise, I showed all the evidence, I stated that, you know, he had broken into my OneDrive for my business, he had broken into my accounts, and get this is what he did. He testified himself, not me, he testified himself that he had gotten into my OneDrive. And the judge kind of raised her eyebrow and she goes, well, but the order of protection that was issued on March 7th says that you are not to access any of her business files, business accounts, nothing. How did you get access to her OneDrive? She asked him. You know what he says? You're not gonna believe this. He goes, well, I kind of had a back door and I had to go in a back way and kind of break in. You've got to be kidding me. I kind of look over it and I'm like, you just admitted to a judge that not only did you violate the order that was issued, that you can't get into my computer, okay, through OneDrive, which is, you know, remote stuff. You just admitted to the judge that you freaking backdoored your way in and broke in. Oh, tell me if that's a smart man. I said, oh my gosh. You know what? I didn't need to say another word after that because guess what the judge said? She goes, I'm going to extend this for a year. There is clearly abuse and there has been domestic violence in this relationship. Hearing was over, but it wasn't. Okay. Judge leaves the bench. The bailiff and the court judicial assistant are there. So the girls and I get up and we pack our stuff. I didn't say a word to the narcissist. I felt zero. I felt nothing at all. And we start walking out. Do you know what he does? He looks at Christina, he looks at my other two friends, and he threatens them. He threatens them in the courtroom. Yes, he did. He did. The bailiff said, excuse me, sir, you need to knock it off. So you know what they did? They all went downstairs and they all started to get their own orders of protection because he threatened them because they were there for me. Who does that? Who does that? Instead of shutting his mouth, packing his stuff, leaving the courtroom, he threatened my friends because he was pissed. This is what I'm telling you guys. Narcissists don't think. They're not capable of rationalizing anything. You don't do that. You don't disrespect anybody in a courtroom. Now, had the judge been there? Oh my gosh, he could have been hauled off to jail. But the bailiff heard him. So we went downstairs and they filed their own orders of protection against him. Okay, so I'm going to end with that, but I got to tell you guys what happened after this. And it involves an Apple tracker. And you're going to love this story because this is classic. This is classic. All right, I'll be back shortly. I'll talk soon. Thanks, guys.